like it, naturally they have to wait. Now that takes us on to the next question. If the soul leaves the body unconsciously, can it become conscious in the astral through the direction of other conscious souls? This is a very tricky question. I'll read it once more. If the soul leaves the body unconsciously, therein is the key. Can it become conscious in the astral through the direction of other conscious souls? Ordinarily, no. If you do not know a thing, how can you know it any other place? But there are exceptions, and I'll give you one exception. And these are personal experiences, and I have talked to the Master, and I know this, so you can take them as such. In case of my father, I know he was a wonderful soul. He loved the Master very much, but he did not, of course, practice self-realization techniques. And therefore I know when he passed over that he was peaceful and joyful, but I'm sure unconscious. But the Master told me. One night he told me, a few days after my father passed away, he said, I saw Grandpa Lewis last night. And he was looking at the flowers on the astral side, and he recognized me, and I recognized him, and he smiled to me. Now there is an exception. Due to the power of the Guru, because of my devotion to him, my father was helped along. And so you see, even though you think you do not do much good by following one like the Master, you do. You help others and you don't know anything about it. And so that pleased me very much to know that even with my humble efforts, that my own father was helped quite a bit. So let us never forget that, even though under certain conditions, even though you pass over unconsciously, that God will step in through his great spiritual law of guru and disciple relationship, and that result came about. And that brings us to the next question. Can any conscious soul in the astral choose his vehicle upon reincarnation? Can any conscious soul? Yes, certainly. The Master has this to say: conscious souls take birth consciously. They pick and select their clothes of bodies according to their developed decent taste. You know a person who dresses a certain way, and you can tell what they are, can't you? And so on the other side, you will pick up a body that's suited for you. You will not want to go into a body that is not vibrating with the same consciousness that you are. This is an obvious fact. And so, if you are conscious on the other side, you will have a say in picking out what vehicle you use. And finally, to the last question, we come, is reincarnation dependent upon the law of cause and effect? Is reincarnation dependent upon the law of cause and effect? Certainly. Certainly. How can you justify the injustices in life with people with sick bodies and people with healthy bodies, people with sick minds, people with healthy minds, unless it's the law of cause and effect? And I want to read you the Master's words as follows. Any ordinary man, diseased physically or mentally, in one life, if he dies in any of these states, when he is reborn, he is again diseased likewise physically and mentally. Now, if you do away with that, if you do away with the delusion of physical disability or mental disability, then that's finished. So it pays us to try here. And the Master goes on, and he says as follows: such diseases might not appear at the time of birth, but generally appear through a weak mind and nervous system later in life. The law is very subtle, but you can see it working if you watch it. The disease of children who have done no conscious action, or diseased children who have no newly acquired latent impulses, suffer due to latent impulses of previous lives. And there, in a few words, I've taken a little extra time, you have a lot about life on the other side. These questions were asked, and I know some are very interested in them, so I've taken a little extra time to answer them. And so, in conclusion, about this question of life beginning or end, realize this one thing. We all have come from the one consciousness of God. He is the sole doer. There's one eternal substance in the universe. And that's his great consciousness plus its power. Everything has come from that. Everything will go back into that. Now, don't you think it behooves us to know that? To realize that one eternal substance which does not change, always was and always will be. If you know that, then you are safe. If you do not know it, you are not safe. You are safe only when you are one with the great presence of God. And so in St. John, the 16th chapter, 28th verse, I came from the Father. Right in our own scripture. I came forth from the Father, and I am come into the world, Jesus said. Again, I leave the world and go to my Father. Why not go consciously? Why not know him now? Then you will absolutely go consciously. How? By being baptized again and again in his presence within as the holy vibration. Again and again, daily. Let not a day go by, but you merge in his presence, and one fine day, after striving, seemingly no end, one fine day you will realize that thou and I, O Father, never apart. Thou and I, never apart. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. I was the bubble. Now I am the sea.
In order to profit from these practical teachings in a meaningful way, which will have a definite and tangible impact in your life, we suggest that you subscribe to the Self-Realization Fellowship's home study course on the science of yoga. Please visit the SRF on the web at yogananda-srf.org or call the SRF's Mother Center in Los Angeles, California at 323-225-2471.